before getting into today's topic on how the United States government's interaction and involvement around the world affects people across the globe, let's start off with the definition of foreign policy. Foreign policy is a plan of action adopted by one's nation in regard to its diplomatic dealings with other countries. Foreign policies are established as a systematic way to deal with issues that may arise with other countries. To put it in simple terms, foreign policy is a government strategy in dealing with other nations. The main trend regarding the history of U.S. foreign policy since the American Revolution is a shift from non-interventionism before and after World War I to its growth as a world power and global hegemony during and since World War II and the end of the Cold War in the 20th century. Today, I will be focusing on the United States foreign policy during World War II. The United States adopted a non-interventionist foreign policy from 1932 to 1938. But then, President Franklin D. Roosevelt moved towards a strong support of the Allies in the war against Germany and Japan. As a result of intense internal debate, the national policy was one of becoming the arsenal of democracy. And that is financing and equipping the Allied armies without sending American combat soldiers. Roosevelt mentioned 4 fundamental freedoms which ought to be enjoyed by people everywhere in the world. These included the freedom of speech and religion, as well as the freedom from want and fear. Roosevelt established terms for a post-war world among potential allies at the Atlantic Conference. Specific points were included to correct earlier failures, which became a step towards the United Nations. American policy was to threaten Japan, to force it out of China, and to prevent its attacking the Soviet Union. However, Japan reacted by an attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, and the United States was at war with Japan, Germany, and Italy. Instead of the loans given to the Allies in World War I, the United States provided the Lend-Lease grants, which provided approximately over $50 billion. Working closely with Winston Churchill of Britain and Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, Roosevelt sent his forces into the Pacific against Japan, then into North America against Italy and Germany, and finally into Europe, starting with France and Italy in 1914, and finally into Europe, starting with France and Italy in 1944 against the Germans. The American economy roared forward, doubling industrial production and building vast quantities of airships, tanks, munitions, and finally the atomic bomb. Much of the American war effort went to strategic bombers, which flattened the cities of Japan and Germany. That will be all for today's lesson. If you liked today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos regarding U.S. foreign policy. Thank you.
Nothing wrong with going off in a daydream, nothing broken in a hopeless sky. Never wonder, just go under and set free. Can you set free?